Hello everyone. Today we are going to cover the last topic of the chapter Understanding Secularism. So let's recapitulate first. We discussed in previous video about Indian secularism, which means that the Indian state and or you can say the Indian country is not ruled by a religious group. There are different religion in our country, but it is not ruled by any particular group of any religion. It is governed by the citizens of the country as a whole belonging from any religion. So the and also the government establishments over here in India, like the government owns the court, police station, that the government schools are not allowed to promote any religion, to show any kind of dedication towards any religion, any photographs, any images of any beliefs towards any religion cannot be displayed in any of such places. Also, the Indian secularism works to prevent the domination of one religious group towards another. If it is a minority or if it is within a religion, there is any lower caste the upper caste, the lower caste being dominated by the upper caste. So all these things are also prevented. Rules have been made for those uh, things as well, those issues as well. Indian constitution has banned untouchability, and the rules has been made for those who does so in order to prevent the interest of the lower caste people. And the state also intervenes in religion in order to end the social practice that believes in discrimination or violating or excluding someone in some or the other way, making sure that the equal right has been provided to everyone. Today we will discuss about the difference between Indian secularism and that of the other countries. Like we have discussed some features of non-secular countries like Saudi Arabia, Israel, Germany. Today we will discuss in context with United States of America, USA. So, in what way is Indian secularism different from that of other democratic countries? There are some objectives that are similar to those that have been included in the constitution of a secular democratic country with the other parts of the world. Like if we talk about the US constitution, it prohibits the legislature from making laws respecting an establishment of religion or that prohibit the free exercise of religion, which means establishment means that the legislature cannot declare any religion as the official religion. Here in India also we don't have any official religion, same way there is in America, nor they can give preference to any particular religion. In USA, the separation between the state and religion means that neither the state nor the religion can interfere in the affairs of one another, which means that America as a country cannot interfere in any of the issues of any people related with the religion. But there is one significant way in which Indian secularism differs from the dominant understanding of secularism as practiced in USA. Like, unlike the strict separation between religion and the state in American secularism, in Indian secularism, the state can intervene in some of the religious affairs. Such as, if we take the example, the Indian constitution has intervened in the Hindu religious practices in order to abolish untouchability. Also, if we take the example, few months back only the three talaq system was uh, banned in India. by the constitution. So in case if requires someone who is getting not getting the equality as per the constitution, because that is also a fundamental right, then government may interfere in some of the matters, and those things are clearly mentioned in the constitution, where the government or the country could interfere in religious context and where not to. So, in order to protect the interests of the citizen, in order to protect their rights, government at times can interfere in the religious affairs of the people. In case of Indian secularism, they cannot. So, in the Indian secularism, though the state is not strictly separate from religion, it does maintain a principal distance with religion. It means that any interference in religion by, by the state has to be based on the ideals which is laid down in the constitution. These ideals serves as the standard through which we can judge whether the state is or is not behaving according to the secular principles. So, as we know that Indian state is secular and the works in various ways to prevent religious domination in the country, the Indian constitution also guarantees the fundamental rights that are based on these secular principles. However, it is not to say that there is no violation in these rights in Indian society. But indeed, it is precisely because such violations happen frequently that we need a constitutional mechanism to prevent them from happening. The knowledge that such rights exist makes us sensitive to their violations, and also it enables us to take action when such laws or such actions are taken against for in terms of violating any laws. We have these principles, these fundamental rights to prevent ourselves. So here is a case study of Kerala, a flood that set aside religious differences and unite people to help each other. So, the incessant and punishing rains in Kerala in the year 2018 monsoon left thousands of people homeless and destroyed. All their properties worth rupees crores was destroyed, their livelihood was completely destroyed, and many more bad things happened with them. Here, incessant means something that is not continuous, that is not getting stopped. So the rain that came in Kerala was continuous and it was one after another, which was very heavy, that was not getting stopped. It continued for a long period of time, which destroyed the lives of thousands of people. Houses were flowing in the water. So while these floods may have chased the state's resident into a relief camp, it washed away many religious differences among the people in the society in the country. There were many heartwarming instances or the incidents of religious harmony, togetherness that came up, that could be seen in the society on social media at different grounds. The first sign you can say was when the places of religious places across the state was seen with their doors open, allowing shivering and um, helpful needed people to take a refuge at their place, like a mosque in North Mallappuram was one of the worst hit districts, and they allowed around 17 displaced Hindu families, including women and children, and even the old people, to turn this mosque into a building as a relief camp. Similarly, the Juma Masjid in the Chalier village allowed people to sleep in the mosque and prepared food also for those people. A madrasa also in the neighboring district came towards came forward to lend their place as a homeless for the homeless people in this flood. Not only this, there were many other temples that was converted into a relief camp without looking at which religion particular person he or she belongs to. It welcomed all and did their best to help the people, which wiped out the gap between the religion, the differences between the religion in this state. That's all in this chapter. Thank you.